Mail time, alright, I'll see what the actual mail is, so let's see how this mail installs for us. Mr. Mario, check it out, I am a mail toad, and I have a letter for you. Dear Mario, I'm in a faraway place, but I am alright because you're coming to rescue me. P.S. I hope this gift will come in handy. Princess Peach include 5 1-up mushrooms in her letter. Would you like to have them now? Of course. I absolutely will accept this. Yeah, you can get yourselves by the forms of 5 1-ups in this particular letter every time you actually read that several times until you're able to actually get yourselves extra lives again. So yeah, that's pretty handy indeed. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii. So, last time we actually did collected ourselves 7 Power Stars, and we managed to able to actually did gather the rest of the 3 Power Stars in the Honey Hive Galaxy, and 1 from Loop-de-Loop Galaxy, and 1 from Flip Switch Galaxy, and of course Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor. We did manage to deal with not only by the forms of only 1 boss fight, which that was on Honey Hive, by the forms of Big Bad Bugaboom, and also by the forms of the Mega Leg in the forms of Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor. So today for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that we're about to get things started with the forms of the next Dome of the game, and that is the forms of the Fountain Dome. And let's go ahead and get things started with the first 2 galaxies that we can able to unlock, but we'll save Rolling Green Galaxy for later because I'll go for these worlds in the chronological order. So let's get started with Space Jump Galaxy. So let's get to it. So, Pole Star Path. So yeah, there's not much else we can really talk about for this point on onwards, ladies and gentlemen, because today was actually forms of the 6th of January in 2019. Sorry about a little bit of attentions there, because the problem with this for me is that I keep on used to by the forms of like saying 2018, but of course 2018 is over, so... But hey, at least it's still 2019, so yeah, what else? Who knows what else? So anyways though, oh man, I am so loving this music. Easily without doubt one of my favorite soundtrack. On this case, of probably one of my favorite music in the entire game, because it's so peaceful and calming and soothing. And especially noticeable if I was going to go out somewhere, like the forms of the summer vacation, if I really want to get some sun on me, then I would able to actually pop on this music and almost the entirety of the forms of couple of hours and stuff. Well, not exactly by the forms of 12 hours-ish, but in the forms of like 30 minutes or 2 hours or 1 hour. Oh man, I can listen to that any day. What if I get some relaxing, peaceful music in the background? Well, usually from my headphones and all that stuff, so that could be pretty welcoming for me. So anyway, so yeah, we've only got ourselves about like I would say by the forms of 5 days to go until the forms of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. However though, I will point things out right away is the fact that I'm probably not going to upload anything for Super Mario Galaxy for tomorrow, just because as far as I've usually just trying to say about this earlier ago, I'm pretty sure that Mega Man has mentioned before, in the forms of in his Mega Man 11 playthrough, that he did say about the fact that we actually got ourselves the rest of the DLC packs right now for New Super Mario Bros. 2. So I thought that I might as well able to come back into that game for, let's just say, one last visit, to able to actually, before you jump into the forms of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, for as a Let's Play channel. So even then though, that what I'm gonna do is the fact that I'm actually gonna be you know, showcase off every single DLC content by the forms of Coin Rush mode, including the forms of the Mushroom Pack and the Flower Pack and the Star Pack from the forms of you know, Coin Rush mode. So even then I might as well do those videos during tomorrow, and especially in the next couple of days. Then it would after that time is done, then we would able to actually jump into the forms of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for a Let's Play channel. So, because again, in the beginning of 2019, I know it's a little bit different, and considering that this is going to be a biggest month, especially noticeable for Mario's Let's Play department, because, you know, thankfully though, Nintendo copyright claims doesn't usually get its own thing this time around though, which... because thanks to the forms of the creators program, they managed to end things off, so I really appreciate it with that stuff. So even then, oh look at that, we have ourselves a Star Shroom apparently, and we have Captain Toad, yay! Da-da-da-da, Mr. Mario! As the brave captain of the Toad Brigade, I've already discovered a shortcut to the Power Star. Okay, show me what the shortcut is. Take the Slung Star at the top of the Shroom, Star Shroom. Okay, thanks for that little hint. So for this mission applies is the fact that not only do we able to deal with a lot of the forms of those Pole Stars that we can able to deal with, but it's also because we need to collect 5 Silver Stars. You know, just like it likes how it does in the forms of in one of those missions, in the forms of in Super Mario 64 DS, that except the fact that this time around though, you don't if you get hit, you don't lose them this time around, so even then though that you can able to keep them from good. So even then though, that might be the only easy way as far as we can able to consider this fact. And by the way, if you manage to get closer to the forms of these breakable parts of the forms of that specific section, because get it, because this place, or this world, or this galaxy rather, it usually calls it Space Junk Galaxy, because it has like a whole bunch of junk across the entirety of the space, so yeah, that's as how it will go. So even then, no, all it's do, you know, just collect 5 Silver Stars, you know, just like the ones and how it does in Super Mario 64 DS, except the fact that you don't have to deal with the breaking that actual container this time around. So instead, that every time you actually collect every single Silver Stars, the Power Star actually pops up. So even then, that's what pointing out, and you know, simple how it works. So anyways though, we actually gathered 12 Power Stars so far, and we actually discovered a new galaxy, which again, I will save that for a later time, and possibly by the likes of the next video, because either way, yeah, we'll move on to the forms of the next mission, back to Space Junk Galaxy we go, until we're able to actually just to collect every single Power Stars within. So anyways, let's see what's next. Cambalea's airship attack. Does that mean we actually come across into the forms of something a little bit more different for a change? Well, in terms of Kamek's enemy itself, well, to be more specifically, I would say we might actually come across into a next boss fight, I'm presuming. So, anyways though, let's go ahead and you know, just get onto the forms of the Star Shrooms and all that stuff, and there's actually a launch star that we can able to instantly take off by that specific point, and we can able to hop onto the airships, you know, just like the ones and how it does in the third mission in Good Egg Galaxy, but except now the airship fortress theme is now being playing, you know, just like how it does in the old days from Super Mario Bros. 3. In fact, they heavily borrowed by the forms of how it does it in let's say both Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros., and especially notable with, you know, Super Mario World until later on anyway, until Super Mario Galaxy 2. But either way though, that's as far as it will go. So, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. So, anyways though, by the way, that long jump over there, if you really want to get that 1-up, then more power to you. Of course, there might be a little bit of a shortcut ways you can able to do it, but I don't think you can't do that. Until when we get to later on throughout the game, that I'll show you guys the most amazing shortcuts by the forms of later down the road, until when we get to the next third dome. But even then, no, I won't spoil it yet. So even then, no, I might as well able to point things out. So anyways, for the most part, let's go ahead and keep farming those star bits before we can, and let's just go ahead and save these 2 toads here by the forms of the actual crystal, and we can now able to use the ability to able to toss these green shells to not only to able to use them as the projectiles, but also when we get to later on throughout the game, that again, I'm probably not going to spoil things too much, because obviously if you ever watched watching this for the very first time, then I'm not going to tell you guys when that's going to happen. So anyway, unlike any forms of how it does in Maxi Tank counterparts, that for some reason he keeps on mentioning by the forms of some spoiled elements by the forms of not only for this game, but also Super Mario Galaxy 2 as well, which to me, that's only because of how the fact that, well, I just found it ludicrous, I say so. So anyways though, jackpots! Yeah, if you get into the forms of that specific tunnel over there, or in this case the actual roof, then this will actually lead us to the forms of the whole bunch of Star Bits rooms. So yeah, that's a pretty good way to you know, grind for some more of those Star Bits as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyways though, and I have no idea why. I just keep on failing for those little. Oh yeah, there's the. And you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, and also not only do we get ourselves green shells, we also come across into the forms of those red shells as well, which I'm presuming the only difference is between, you know, if you ever played Mario Kart before, that, you know, the obvious differences between the green and the red shells is that the green shells can able to fire straight forward, and then the red shell can able to home in like any kind of enemy. So even then though, before you're able to continue, I need to go ahead and get myself a life shroom, so just in case. So yeah, I don't know if there's a way you can able to perform a speed run to able to skip this sequence, but I might try that out until later on, but not now though, because we eventually made it towards the actual ship. So I wonder what that specific Cambalea looks like. Alright, she's a female version of the forms of the Kamek, except it's a little bit more bigger, and she has her wand. So, she's so that she can able to do all kinds of spells, you know, just like any kind of Kameks before one hand. But what she can do is the fact that she can able to cast a fire spell, which if you see the actual, like, spell go orange, meaning that she'll actually spew out fireballs, as you can see right there. But if it goes to green, this means you need to use the green shells to able to attack her. So even then though, once you do that, even then though, for the first part of the actual boss fight anyway, it can actually take like 2 hits. Whilst in the final phase, on the other hand though, it only just gets like 1 hit health left. So, well, for her anyway. So, but either way though, once you deal out with her for twice the amount of health that you've actually took her out, then, you know, she actually spawned in these Kameks for now to make the actual fight slightly tougher, but still, I found it pretty easy, except a couple of times I keep running into enemies like an idiot. But anyways, though, you have to, like, you know, toss the green shell at her, like 3 hits, but then that's done. But eventually, when we get to later on, though, then I'm pretty sure we can able to meet up with her once again, but, well, we'll see what happens until when we get to nearly close towards the end of the forms of the entire game. Well, at least to be more specifically by the forms of, well, I'm not gonna spoil for that yet. So anyways though, so since we've walked back there, and because we actually got ourselves, I would say 13 power stars to acquire this, and then this will actually manage to show up. It seems that a prankster comet has appeared somewhere. Prankster comets have very strange effects on galaxies. If you want to learn more about these curious comets, ask that Luma who knows about such things. Okay, so turns out that, do you remember Buddy Forms of how it does it whenever we done 3 power stars in Good Egg Galaxy? Well, turns out we have to go back there now, just because I've noticed there is actually a prankster comet on site. And it appears to be, it's going to be at the Good Egg Galaxy. So even then, yeah, this is why you usually manage to do these things every once in a while, is the fact that every time when a comet actually appears, then you have to go back to the actual previous levels you got into. So here's a speedy comet in orbit. So here we go with Dino Piranha Speedrun. So it's kind of like the same mission as the normal Dino Piranha mission, except, well, since as you can tell it says Dino Piranha Speedrun, that means there's going to be a different music in the background, means we need to hurry things up, and plus, not to mention, we have a time limit. So even then, we've only got about 4 minutes to deal with this, so I'm guessing there's no time for waste to able to actually just farm those star bits for a while. So even then, although we can still able to actually get those star bits every once in a while, predictably later on, but not right now though, because we're in a hurry. So in addition to those specific stuff is the prime example about the fact that you're probably not going to farm those star bits too much due to the actual lack of boulders, as you can tell, because it's not being replaced as rolling chain jumps. So either way though, that's simply how this will go. So either way, basically, this mission plays exactly like the normal, you know, Dino Piranha mission, except, you know, the only difference is the intense hurry-up music in the background, and especially noticeable with the forms of, you know, you have to deal with the time limits. But if the time actually runs out, then you have to do the entire mission again. So even then though, what I found was a little bit bugging for me, well, it does attempt to bother me a little bit, unlike in forms of Super Mario Galaxy 2, is the fact that the game asks you to able to actually just do a little bit of a a little bit pace-breaking moment whenever you're trying to able to actually just to say, like, try again or return back to the observatory option, which, thankfully, though, when we get to the sequel of Super Mario Galaxy, they did manage to remove that specific option, so even then, though, you can able to go back into what you got into, but I found it kind of a little bit annoying at times. But anyway, we'll get to that as soon as we're able to get to the harder missions. So, but either way, though, I'm doing the exact same moves as of how he does it from before, but, you know, except the fact that I need to hurry things up. So even then, though, let's go ahead and just, get all kinds of star bits due to the forms of that well-hidden enemy from here, even though the footprints still showed up. So, yeah, you get the idea. So, still no luck by the forms of Nintendo Direct just yet, until whenever we get to the point. I've heard from several rumors or leaks out there, although it might be fake or real, but I've heard they might actually reveal that in the forms of the 10th of January, which I don't know if that's going to be the case though, but I don't know exactly for sure just yet, because obviously I'm feeling a little bit rusty when it comes to news updates on it so far, so... But again, I do apologize for this point and onwards, folks, because aside from, you know, in the, in Dragon Slayer 2 Time Warp Let's Play that Sonic recently done during the likes of in 2018, that he did discuss a lot of things, but thanks to the forms of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct, which I think that was the last time we actually got a Nintendo Direct, but it's been about, you know, almost 2 months since that's been held up. Which, to be honest with you, I'm just really desperate to be able to know what the actual the final release date for Yoshi's Crafted World is going to be like. I've heard it's going to be releasing at some time in spring, so I'm hoping it might actually going to be releasing until either March or April or May. Again, it all depends because of the fact that I just pretty much lacking with information, I'm afraid. So, but I'm still looking forward to it though. In fact, we're actually going to be doing our Let's Play of Yoshi's Woolly World before that game comes out. Well, it all depends because of the actual redo playthroughs and all that stuff, and the current Let's Plays we are still doing at the moment for the time. So, yeah, this might be a little bit of a problematic for me when it comes to, like, well, doing all kinds of Let's Plays and all that stuff, while at the same time concentrating on others. So, yeah, that's as far as I'm concerned with this. Alright, so that's it for Good Egg Galaxy for now on though, and actually before we yeah, let's just go ahead and just head back to the forms of the fountain here, and just to see what's up next. And as far as I can usually tell, that after we actually did done with the first mission in Space Junk Galaxy, I'm thinking we might actually get ourselves our next Prankster Comet, which I'm sure enough we have one here. Even though, despite the fact that we haven't done the third mission yet, and, yeah, this is kind of, weird, because either way, because, I was expecting if I was going to be doing the third mission for now, or the second mission, but it turns out the game interrupts you to able to do a Comet mission instead, so, yeah, anyways, though. Polestar Path Speedrun, which is basically the exact same mission as before, except, again, that you have to deal with a time limit, so... But again, the only difference is now is the fact that, well, not much else anything else different around here. Besides, you still got the exact same time limit, which runs the exact same time limit within 4 minutes. So, once again, we don't have to waste our time to able to actually grinding for more of those star bits for now. Until when we get to the next couple of galaxies, then I'm sure I can able to actually keep on farming these. So even then though, let's go ahead and just rush things up. And, well, not so much by the forms of the recording sessions, because, you know, the time length has actually gone a little bit more swell, and especially a lot more improvement over the likes of the lackluster short montage of the forms of Maxi Maxi 10 counterparts. But either way though, still. So, another thing is worth mentioning though is the fact that, speaking of the Comet missions, is the fact that, unlike in the sequel, Super Mario Galaxy 2, which again we'll get to that until when it gets to April, as I said this countless amount of times, then, you know, I'm probably not going to mention about that just yet, so... But either way though, it's specifically in this game, you always have to deal with like, oh, please, 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 yes! Shortcut, baby! Oh man, I love doing that. Especially noticeable, like, whenever I match the first time I've played this game, I have a little bit of a struggle to able to actually just trying to able to achieve the shortcuts on this level, or in this case for that Polestar section. Oh, stupid spiders. Screw you. Hey. Anyway, let's go and get some more star bits here, and another set of jackpots of these little star bits here. And by the way, if you manage to able to collect like 50 star bits all the way up to 100, and that could be the same applies for 150 and vice versa. Basically, you actually get yourselves an extra life, which either way, a little bit different by the forms of how it does it in Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64. Well, technically speaking, similar to the forms of Super Mario 64 actually, is the fact that, like, if you collect like 50 of those coins, well, 50 and 100, you get yourselves like, well, if you get 50 coins, then you get yourselves a 1-up. And similarly, by the forms of 100 coins and for 2 lives. And that can be applied for, you know, by the forms of Super Mario 64 DS. I'm not exactly sure about the forms of Super Mario Sunshine because I've already played that game for a while, or even for quite a long time actually, after about 4 years ago, because it wasn't summer yet. Even then though, at the same time, whenever we get to summer vacation, or in this case the summer seasons, I don't know what it is. I always attempt to play Super Mario Sunshine most of the time during the summer. I think it's probably because of how the fact that, well, I just feel like it. So, anyways though. Alright, so hopefully we don't waste our time here. So, but however though, since we are doing the comet missions, there are no checkpoints to deal with. So, but again, if you mess things up, especially noticeable if you fall and die, then you have to redo the entire mission again. So, just want to point things out, but I'm sure many people already know this. So, there we go. We're actually done with the Polestar Path speedrun. So now we can continuously going back onto that specific galaxy, and we've actually unlocked something new in here. Enemy base spotted. We're detecting massive energy spikes. What were they doing there? I'm guessing because they were trying to able to reveal even more evil plans. But it forms of the evil clutches of Bowser. I think that's what they're going for here. Now, before we continue on with the forms of Space Junk Galaxy, actually, I have to go back to the forms of the Terrace Dome to able to deal with the another prankster comments, because, like, every time you actually just manage to complete one mission or another, although it's a little bit random, that all you have to do is just basically to complete one normal mission and vice versa until when eventually the prankster comments will appear as what's shown on the map, or, you know, just find your stuff for yourselves. Anyways, Cosmic Comment. So let's see what we have in Honey Hive Galaxy then. Honey Hive Cosmic Mario Race. And it appears to be we're gonna have a one-on-one race. So, race to the finish, or in this case a Power Star wins. So, yeah, it's self-explanatory, but before we start things off, let me just go ahead and get some more star bits from here, and to be more specifically, just point at the M letter, and we'll get this thing going. Oh yes, this little Cosmic Mario familiar face. So, but basically all to do, okay, let's press Z, and then A button we go, and we get ourselves a nice little boost start. Because yes, in order to actually activate that specific starting boost, all you have to do is a bit like how it does it if you ever played any other Mario Kart game. If it goes like to 2, press the Z button, and then as soon as that letter goes go, then press the A button at the right time until you're able to get yourselves your boost start. You know, kind of like how we did in Mario Kart, except rather than going on go-karts, except we need to able to walk on foot or run on foot to be able to actually go after the Power Stars. See, Fernando. Thankfully though, this mission is pretty easy though, assuming if I'm pretty much expert at the game. That's only because of how the fact that, well, for some reason back in about 11 years ago, I always have a little bit of a struggling time with that specific mission, although it's because it's new to me. Back in the day, that is. But until about a decade later, by the forms of 2017 and onwards, then I know exactly how this mission works. So, there we go. I don't think we can able to visit to Terrace for the meantime, because I'm pretty sure we're done with here for now. So, from now on, we're focusing on the majority of the fountain for now. See, Fernando, we can able to do even more missions, and especially just, you know, keep on farming those star bits every once in a while, and, you know, vice versa, and all that stuff. So, anyways though, let's go and go into this little Polestar thingy, and we'll go back to Space Junk once again, and to do the third mission. Well, to be more specifically, the fourth mission for now, because, well, we've already done the third Power Star by the forms of the comment. So, anyway, Tar and Tark's Tangled Web. This could be interesting. So we need to, like, go all the way to where the rocket was, even though that rocket was a little bit more abandoned, or in this case, to me, that rocket right there, as what's shown on the actual levels intro sequence, that rocket is kind of like similar to the forms of SS Dolphin from Pikmin 2, but except the fact that Olimar and Louie was nowhere to be found, because I'm pretty sure those two have managed to get back into the forms of the Hurricanation Company, which, truth be told, I seem to be able to noticing that, so... But nice little reference though, but hey, at least that's as far as I can usually just try to think of, so... Anyways though, so once again, use the Polestar mechanic right here, and, you know, pretty self-explanatory for the most part, so... In fact, not only does this game usually retains the forms of, some common missions and all that stuff, but much like in the forms of how it does it in some secret Shine Sprites from Super Mario Sunshine, that there might be some secret power stars. So even then though, that I think there's going to be one prime example, and that was the forms of this mission. And as you can see, so far I've got myself 52 star bits. And I assume to realize there's actually a Hungry Luma over there. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, I would able to actually save these secret missions until later on, after when I'm done with the main missions, but the truth is, I can't help it for myself to able to actually go for the secret power stars first, and then go back into its normal state. So yeah, if you manage to fill up 50 of those star bits, because 50 star bits is only required for this mission, and then it turns out you actually get yourselves a Yoshi planet? Okay, that's kind of familiar. And, although except the fact that Yoshi wasn't the entirety of the playable character, but at least it's nice to see Yoshi as a unexpected appearances, which I'm pretty sure enough when we're done with the actual mission, then the mission's name will able to mention about this, so... You know, not much to really tell by the forms of this mission's requirements is that obviously we need to able to deal with every single Goombas, so... But in fact, there's actually a little bit of a twist to it, because if you couldn't tell, because in the beginning of part of this particular mission, as you can tell, that I've managed to able to land on these Goombas for about 6 combos. And that's only because every time you actually kill any kind of Goombas for any certain jumps and all that stuff, that as you can see, I've managed to get myself 3 on the actual, like, as what the number's showing. That actually represents the actual jumping combos, with the forms of stomping those Goombas. So... I don't think you can get anything with these, killing those all kinds of Goombas, aside from that Power Star if you manage to clear them off. And I think it's because of that wooden Yoshi's face doesn't seem to like Goombas on his planet, so... But at least we've managed to sort that out, and sure enough, we got another Power Star, so... There we go. Okay, so, but anyway, but either way though, you don't get coins or star bits every time you kill the Goombas, so Yoshi's unexpected appearance. Yes, exactly, because, well, I did not even know it up until now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So, now let's go ahead and back in here again to probably do one last mission for now, because after all, we got ourselves 4 power stars for now, and we'll, well, for Space Junk Galaxy anyway. And we'll go back in that specific galaxy again to do that mission properly. So even then though, let's just this time around though, let's just go for a normal method right here. So but again, I do apologize by the forms of the lack of lines or dialogue or any informations to talk about, just because, well, still no sign of the forms of Nintendo Direct just yet. So either way though, because again, we're a little bit rusty at the moment, especially in comparison to the forms of last month. In this case, during the likes of in last December, by the forms of in December 2018. Other than the fact that we did manage to briefly discuss upon a little bit of things, by the forms of thanks to the forms of the Games Awards 2018 things to be able to discuss. Like for instance, the Joker from Persona 5 is going to make his appearance as the first DLC character. Well, technically by the forms of Piranha Plant as what it's first shown, but only on my Nintendo exclusive, you know, just like Toad from Super Mario Run. But anyways, Persona 5's The Joker, as is going to be the first DLC character has been announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But again, he hasn't shown off as the true gameplay experience yet. but it's just a little bit of a tease to able to actually just to realize about what the actual DLC fighter will look like. So, but I digress. Man, I love that part of that music with that little piano musical piece. I always love that part. It always makes me cry for some odd reason, just because, well, it just feels a lot more charming to me. But anyway, so enough about that. So let's go ahead and then just approach onto this really weird looking egg around here. Help! I'm stuck. Aim your cursor at me and press A to pull that. I wonder what that particular sticky stuff is called, but I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, here's another mechanic that we can able to deal with in this particular stage, especially noticeable when we get to later on. As you can see, every time you actually get stuck onto the forms of that sticky object right there, or the obstacle I should say, basically what happens is the fact that every time you get caught onto that, you would able to actually realize that you need to use the actual sensor bar, or in this case, to be more accurately, by the forms of the A button at the same time, to able to actually, it's kind of like the slingshot from, you know, kind of like how we did for Angry Birds and stuff. Basically, we need to pull back that specific part, and then you would able to actually just to go ahead and fling yourself. So even then, no, vice versa, and, you know, self-explanatory for the most part. So, anyway, so let's take care of these annoying spider enemies, and, let's go ahead and deal with this last enemy here before we continue, and I think we should all be settled. So, here we go, we got flinged! And we hatched the egg, so even then, there's nothing we can do in here other than we can actually hatch this true egg, and that actually reveals the actual creepiest boss. Well, not so much creepy, but a little bit more intimidating, but that's the forms of a Rocks. I can't pronounce his name very well, I'm afraid, because, well, I feel pretty much, again, pretty rusty with all this kinds of stuff. So again, that, you know, you can also use that green toad to able to actually use that advantage to able to actually just do that, which I think is actually pretty cool advice to able to do that, because, well, you know. Alright, so in this boss fight, all you have to do is basically, I suggest you able to actually use those sticky parts until you're able to actually attack its back. And then once you do that, then he'll go upside down for a few seconds. Well, you do need to hurry up, because otherwise, if you waste your time, then he'll gain himself back up. But after that, then you have to able to attack his true weak spots by the forms of whenever he goes upside down. And then you would able to attack his 3 weak spots. And then if you attack the either each side of whenever he's right side up, he'll able to get stunned by that if you manage to do that, as you see that earlier. And then every once in a while, Ramsey repeats, and you know the rest. It gets pretty tough and difficult, because either way though, that he occasionally spewts out those disgusting stuff in every single spot now. So even then though, the only advice for you is that, well, just keep on stunning him by the forms of like attacking those squeaky looking sections, which either way though, it's not too bad, honestly. And as far as I can tell, is the fact that this boss will make its appearance in the forms of the E3 2006 little demonstration demo or something like that, so as a part of another boss fight. So in fact, there was only like 3 bosses in E3 2006, I'm presuming. So anyways though, we've actually unlocked ourselves our next new galaxy that we can actually unlock, and especially noticeable with the Hungry Lumbers was actually appeared. And yeah, but again, we'll save those in a later time, because for now, I'm pretty sure we've actually done with Space Junk Galaxy for now. And let's get into the next galaxy, is Rolling Green Galaxy, so rolling in the clouds. And I believe we actually stumbled across any forms of another mechanic that we can able to deal with, and that will have to be kind of familiar to you, for those of you who ever played Super Monkey Ball before, or especially with any other Marble Madness games or anything like that. But we have a Star Ball system. See, Fernando, let's go ahead and hop in, and you gotta be kidding me. I have to force the able to let the billboard tells me to do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jump onto the ball, yes, I know. And basically, rather than just point at the Wiimote at the screen, you have to hold the Wiimote vertically this time around. And in order to actually move the actual star balls, that you have to tilt the Wiimote in the corresponding direction and press the A button to jump. And as I mentioned to you before, just like the Manta Ray stages, I'm pretty sure any forms of the Nutica Shield TV version in Chinese version, rather than just add in motion controls, instead it was actually replaced as the analog stick and the forms of the buttons as well. So even then though, it makes everything a little bit easier in the forms of the other version, but I actually don't mind by the forms of the motion controls in these sequences because of, well, the only major things about this is the fact that it feels kind of similar to how it does in Super Monkey Ball Banana Blades, except, well, you know, you're obviously on the start ball rather than inside the actual ball, and you can still jump, just like in Banana Blitz for Super Monkey Ball, but except the fact that rather than just getting to the actual goal post, well, usually it retains the exact same thing, but except rather than just getting through the actual, like, the goal hole, but instead you can able to actually place the actual, like, start ball into its hole. You know, kind of like the actual golf game almost. Well, except the fact that there's going to be some, edges to jump over through, especially noticeable you really don't want to fall off to the actual level, but other than that, pretty simple and self-explanatory. Of course, we're able to come across into that for about 3 times in this game, so even then though we did that 1 time, and we might actually come across into another courses when we get to a later portion. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. Is that we're about to be moving on to the next galaxy in the continuation portion of the Fountain Dome. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas.